Yo, welcome to Sprawl and Brawl. It's not an episode number. We're just doing an after show for UFC 212. Isn't that right, Steiner?
Yes, it is.
You look more tired than I am.
212.
How is that even possible?
Well, I woke up at like 5:30 here, so I've still been up for around 18, 19 hours.
Okay, so it's 10:41 where you are, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it's 12:41 where I am right now.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure about that. What are you drinking? Some kind of energy drink or just water? Oh, yes, the Stevia Cola.
Stevia Cola,
Yes.
black cherry flavor.
Coca-Cola Life is my favorite Coke. And that's like partially sugar and mostly stevia. It tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, what's your favorite kind of cola overall? Like, is it just
Dr.
that what you're
Pepper,
drinking? Okay.
black cherry. Yeah.
For me, growing up, it was always Diet Pepsi. It tasted better. It just, when you drink it, it doesn't stay
All that
stuck to your
aspartame
mouth.
just,
Well, the aspartame goes down smooth, you know? It's like a crisp.
Yeah. It just stays in your liver and kidneys until you die.
Pretty much. But I don't know. I don't know. Coca-Cola and all that is all pretty bad. If you drink it, you should probably just drink it here and there.
Yeah.
When you're a kid and you're a teenager, that's fine. Go crazy. You can drink that shit as long as you exercise.
The thing they could have put in half the amount of sugar that they do, and it would still pretty much taste the exact same.
I guess, but I don't know. I never got fat off of cola when I was a kid because I always exercised. But then when you stop exercising and you get old, it's like, oh man, I gotta stop drinking this shit. And then you drink beer and you're like, oh shit,
and it makes it even worse.
I gotta stop drinking this stuff too. All right, anyways, let's talk about UFC 212. It just happened. Did you watch the whole thing?
I may have missed one fight.
Okay, which is probably the one that I'm going to start off with, which was Davison Figueiredo versus Marco Beltran. And actually, Beltran probably won the first round pretty easily, I would say. But then after that, in the second, Figueiredo just landed some huge shots, and then he landed a few hammer fists from the top, and then the ref stopped it. No, that was the end of the fight, TKO. Oh, you know what was interesting? Is that it was at the very end of the second round. So, like, the buzzer went off, burp, and then the ref was, I guess the ref just judged that he couldn't respond and get to his corner properly. So he was just like, okay, yeah, it's done. It looked pretty over, to be honest. Like, the hammer fist
should have been stopped, and then it wasn't.
Well, no. Well, the bell went off. So even if the ref wanted to stop it, like, I can't disagree with the ref's decision here. Like, if he wanted to stop it, like, the bell went off anyways. So it's not. If he would have stopped it a second earlier, it's not. It would have made a big difference anyways. You know,
right?
Like, the hammer fists were like the cherry on top, and that happened right at the fucking bell. It was the right hand that landed that knocked him down, and then the hammer fist after that was just like, okay, yeah, that's definitely over. Oh, by the way, if you want to call via Skype, I am Wild Matt. I'm just gonna bring up this overlay. Look, Wild Man right there. Just call that right there on Skype, and then it'll bring you right up. But yeah, no, that was a good fight to start off the night right there. And then the second fight was a welterweight fight between Lon Chagas and Jim Wallhead. Did you see this one?
Most of it, yeah, I believe so.
Well, this was the battle of the bad tattoos, is how I would describe this fight. It was pretty ridiculous. Their tattoos all sucked.
I saw the ending of it. I remember him.
Whoops. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this fight except that Jim Wallhead took a beating until he ultimately won. Chagas won. Chagas took a beating. Sorry, and then Wallhead just I guess he tired himself out with all the beating that he was giving out.
Well, I just saw the ending. Is that Wallhead took a couple of good shots against the fence, dropped to the ground, and got some more punches in the face, and then he turned around and gave up his.
This was another fight where I think the guy who lost was ultimately winning up to that point. I don't know. Like Chagas looked fine, but Wallhead up to that point was looking the best out of the two.
Okay.
But he got knocked down really bad, and then the rear naked choke kind of just happened because of that. They're just like, I can't really defend against this. I'm just gonna tap.
Right.
Yeah. And then the last preliminary fight on Fight Pass was a women's fight, which I have no notes about right here. I did not take down notes, but it was a pretty good fight.
I did see it.
I just don't. It was an American versus a Brazilian, and the American one, right? It was Moreno.
No, the Brazilian.
The Brazilian one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up on Wikipedia real quick because I don't remember their names. Oh, Moyle, Jamie Moyle. That's who I was trying to remember. Okay, all right. 20, 29, 28, 30, 27, and 30, 27. Well, at least all the judges agreed.
Yeah.
I was kind of not paying attention, to be honest.
I definitely would go with the 30-27, and I wouldn't say it's a bad fight, but I also wasn't nothing substantial happened.
Nobody looked super awesome in this fight.
Yeah.
Like it's not Moyle. It's not like
no
Moyle looked terrible
hurt.
in this
fight. There was no ever real.
And think about that, like 29-28 in Brazil to a Brazilian, like Yeah, that's how close this fight was. Usually those Brazilians are pretty one-sided to the Brazilian fighters. That's what I find about Brazil.
Well, it just never really. Neither fighter got the other fighter into any real sorts of trouble at all. Like it was just mostly a stand-up and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. But this next fight was not like that. It was Brian Keller versus Yuri Alcantara. And Alcantara was doing pretty okay. But then the fucking guillotine choke came out of nowhere. And then he tapped in 2 seconds. Like he got the guillotine and he just squeezed it and he fucking tapped out. And Yuri Alcantara lost to Brian Keller, which I'm not that familiar with. But there you go. Get familiar with that guy because he just beat fucking Yuri Alcantara in Brazil. In Brazil. 1 minute and 48 seconds. It was a quick fight. And then another fight was awesome too. Matthew Lopez defeated Johnny Eduardo versus via TKO punches in the first round. 3 minutes basically. Lopez just wrecked the whole fight, and then he got a TKO. And on the ground with his hammer fists.
I wouldn't quite. It went to the ground early on, and
it was 3 minutes. So I mean,
yeah, I know. But it ended very quickly.
Well, the ref could have stopped it earlier. Those hammer fists kept raining down forever. That's what I have written down in my notes. I remember that fight. The dude was just on top, and it was
the referee was Mazzagatti.
Yes, it was Mazzagatti.
He let him.
No,
let him beat the fuck out of him.
No. It was the Asian dude, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Isn't that Mazzagatti?
No, that's Mazzagatti's the Italian dude. Mario Yamasaki is the Asian dude.
Yamasaki, yeah, it was Yamasaki.
Yeah, no, this was Yamasaki for sure.
Yeah.
He kind of screwed up on this one. He should have stopped it a little bit before, because it's not only the hammer fist that ended the fight; it was the punch before that ultimately ended up with the two on the ground. Anyways, a middleweight fight was next. Antonio Carlos Jr. versus Eric Spicely. This was a pretty good fight.
It was a nice grappling fight.
Well, okay, yeah, sure. If you're into that, that's what I wanted to say. It was ultimately, if you're like into the whole EBI stuff, this was a good one of those fights. But if you're into just the people pounding each other, it wasn't really good. But the whole first round was them like fighting for leg position. Their legs were intertwined and trying to fucking get leg locks and shit, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah,
that was like the whole first round.
Interesting to a point. If you understand the ground game or whatever, it was quite interesting. I'm just Eric was trying to get some striking while in that position. I guess he just, because he's on his ass and everything, he couldn't actually get any.
Dude, Spicely got the most strikes when he was on his back, when he had when he was punching from the back. Like he was punching behind him.
Like, but it's just like he was trying to do it, which was really nice to see, but he wasn't able to accomplish anything with it. And then from that, well, you're talking Carlo. He's a fucking world class black belt. So if it's on the ground for too long, he is eventually going to win. To the point he got out of the first round is actually a pretty decent saying of how good the other guy is.
He's one of the 2 Brazilians out of Tough that I really like. So that's what I have to say about Antonio Carlos Jr.
So what's his new nickname or something? Is Shoeface?
I don't know. I didn't write down his nickname. Let me look this up here.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Cara de Sapato, which is Portuguese for Shoeface. Yeah. Yes. Good, great, cool nickname, I suppose. Lex Luthor.
I don't understand how the fuck you get that nickname.
Lex Luthor is not a great nickname, but it's better than that one.
Oh. It really is.
And then, oh my God, the main event of the prelims kind of disappointed me a little bit. Just because these guys were so goddamn evenly matched. It was a bantamweight fight between Rafael Hassanzao versus Marlon Moraes, and they really didn't do anything for like the whole 3 rounds. They were just standing up and squaring up to each other.
There was like 2 little spurts of something, and that
Yes.
It was 2 little spurts of something, one for each, and then nothing for the other 14 minutes of the fight.
Yeah. I didn't even take any notes of this fight because that's just how it went. They were just, I don't know, because they can both go to the ground and their stand up's pretty good as well. But it just seemed like nobody really wanted to initiate, so they didn't. They just were doing nothing for most of the fight. Yeah, which kind of sucks. I was expecting.
I definitely don't understand that 30-27 that one of the judges gave, but I did. Fair enough. All the rounds were fairly lackluster, but
yeah, I think the first one went to Moraes, and then the 2 last definitely went to Hassanzao.
I would probably agree with that.
If somebody gave the first one to Hassanzao, I wouldn't be mad.
No, but you have one judge giving 28-29 and then 30-27.
Dude, judging is fucked. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It's definitely closer than that. But if somebody wanted to say that somebody won all the 3 rounds, I don't know. Like it was such a weird fight to judge. It's nothing really happened. Like you said, 2 things happened. So if you want to give those 2 rounds split, then sure, then you give the other round to somebody else. But even then, I don't know. It's just such a weird fight.
Yeah.
I was expecting more out of this fight, but oh well. And then we're going on to the pay-per-view card here. Welterweight fight between Jens Medeiros and Eric Silva. Silva was actually doing pretty all right in the first round. But then in the second round, Jens Medeiros landed a huge right hook that put Silva down, and then a few other punches on the ground, and then the ref stepped in.
I don't remember the finish itself.
It was kind of like hammer fist. Well, no, it wasn't hammer fists. He landed the right hook. Eric Silva went down, and then he was like on top of him with Silva, kind of kicking his feet out, and then he kind of just landed a punch on the way down, and then Silva was just like, ugh, and then that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember them fighting, and I remember being a pretty close fight, going back and forth a bit, and then I don't really remember. Maybe I
Silva wasn't
away.
Clearly out ever. But Jens Medeiros, if he would have kept landing those shots, Silva would have, what was he doing? He wasn't defending himself, so the rest stepped in, of course, and that was the end. This is a pretty good fight. I enjoyed this fight. Ended in the second round, 2 minutes and 1 second. Good stuff.
Yeah.
This next fight was fucking awesome too. If I can pronounce these 2 names here, middleweights between Paulo Borrachina, I think I got that right, and then he defeated Oliwe Bombose? Sure.
Bambose. Bang.
Oh, he is the African Booty Scratcher is one of his nicknames.
Yeah.
I'm glad I clicked on his name. No, this fight was fucking amazing. This is probably the fight of the night for me. Just out of pure action.
The first 3 minutes of the fight was pretty fucking cool. But after that, Bambosu.
Yes.
Bambos.
The Brazilian.
Yeah, he just got the African guy.
Oh, African. The Brazilian. African. Sure, yes.
Got tired. and like when he walked back to his corner, he was like stiff-legged because he couldn't stand up properly.
Yeah.
So he blew his load quite horribly all over the ring. And just never really quite recovered from the adrenaline drop.
Yeah.
Because when he was walking out, he was going crazy. He was yelling and screaming and jumping.
Well, this was. I think this was one of those fights like tonight that the guy that lost was ultimately winning up to that point. Because I would probably give the first round to the American. Alue Bombose, whatever his name is.
I don't know. Like that first round,
It was close. That's the thing,
yes.
too.
That's the thing is like the first 3 or 3.5 minutes went to Bombase
But then the second round, Apollo just destroyed.
Yeah.
So, no question about who won that one. Because it ended with a TKO.
Yeah. But it ended quite harsh.
Yes. Yeah, like you said, he was on wobbly legs. Like it was just, oh well, all right, he's done. And then the battle of the old dudes, middleweights.
Wow.
Vitor Belfort versus Nate Marquardt.
An old dude. Actually,
Marquardt is 38.
Yeah.
Right? And Vitor is what, 40?
40.
40? Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost said 41. Almost. He's got to be there. He's got to be close to 41 now.
Yeah, it doesn't have his birthday listed here.
Oh, yeah, April 1st. So he just turned 40.
Turned 40. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Marquardt's not as old as I thought he was. Sorry, Marquardt's older than I thought he was.
Oh, no, yeah, he's been around, man. Was he on the first season of Tough? Or the second? He was on one of those ones.
Oh, it definitely wasn't the first.
Okay, so it was probably the second one. Or am I misremembering shit? Let's see. Marquardt made his UFC debut on August 6th, 2005 on Spike TV, headlining on the inaugural Ultimate Fight Night card in Las Vegas. Okay, so he was just one of those first dudes on Spike. He was never on Tough.
Yeah.
He was just on a free UFC thing.
TV.
Yeah. All right. He's been around a long time though. 2006.
But
that's
yeah,
only UFC.
Belfort didn't look bad.
No, he looked okay
Marquardt
in terms of physical shape and everything too.
Marquardt didn't push anything all that much, so that really ended up.
The first round was easily Nate's
favor,
and then the rest of the fight was all Vitor.
Yeah,
that's how I would describe this fight. Nate did pretty okay in the first. Like even all the judges gave it 29-28 to Vitor. So it seems like pretty unanimous. Like even those crooked Brazilians agreed with me here. Yeah, because Nate did pretty okay in the first round, and after that he just kind of dropped off.
Yeah. So Belfort was with TriStar on this one, so he actually had. And
he called out Canadians and all that at the end too, which was interesting. I almost said weird, but whatever. Sure, he was in Canada training, so why not?
Canada training.
Yeah, and he's in Brasilia.
Yeah. No, Brasilia is an actual capital city of Brazil. Okay. Just dropping a bomb on you.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And it's spelled with an S. That's fucking insane. What is that? Isn't it spelled with an S? I'm pretty sure Brasilia is spelled with an S. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Brasilia is spelled with an S. And then Brazil is with a Z. But we're English. It's probably not even called Brazil over there. It's like what is it called? It's probably just called Brazil. Yeah, they call it Brazil. Or some weird like that, where they roll their R. Anyways, hey, the co-main event. The co-main event was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. Because Claudia Gadelha just came in there and fucking wrecked Carolina Kowalkiewicz or whatever her name is. Her last name. Sorry, Carolina. I like you, but your last name is hard to pronounce.
She got her ass kicked pretty bad.
I don't know if I would say pretty bad, but the rear naked choke was pretty bad.
Yes, it went in way too easily and then she tapped with. Well, it was so damn tight. Yeah, she was either going to go unconscious or was going to tap. So.
It was one of those rear naked chokes where it's not necessarily the air that's going to kill you. It's the just blood going to your brain. It's going to knock you out right away. It's one of those chokes where it's just like, I'm out.
Well, it was just that her neck was like out, like her chin was up, and like it was just really bad positioning. She rolled over trying to get up, gave up her back, and.
Oh, do you know what I mean though?
Chin
Have
up.
you ever gotten choked where it's like your brain goes out versus your air?
No.
Okay, because I've been in that where it's, you know the difference. It's like 2 seconds. Like, I understand why people choke when it's like that, because it's like if you don't tap out, you're out, and it's not necessarily an air thing. Because dude, you can fucking hold on to your breath for a minute, right? If you're under the right circumstances, but it's not. It's not that. It's just your brain is literally having no blood to it, so it's just like, well, shit, I'm out. Like it just shuts down because that's the only thing the brain knows what to do. She's like, well, I guess I'm not getting oxygen through the fucking blood, so I'm just gonna peace out for 2 seconds here. Hopefully I'll get fucking some blood here in this passing out. You know, it's like our evolution. It's just like that's what it came up with. It's like a defensive mechanism. It's like, oh well, shit, we're not getting blood through or air through the blood. Blah blah. I'm just gonna pass out, and hopefully whatever is causing it to not give us this air through the blood is gonna go away. And you know, most of the time it does. Oh, because you always have a little bit of air. You're not gonna. It's like you know when you drown. If somebody pulls you out of the water, you're just even without CPR. Most of the time, you're just gonna fucking spit that water out and recover on your own.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But you know that's if you're lucky. And then the fight that everybody came to see, and it's pretty good. It delivered, in my opinion. Jose Aldo versus Max Holloway. What were your thoughts about this fight?
Bless Holloway.
I'm blessed.
Going down to Brazil and Rio de Janeiro and beating the fuck out of the fake champion of Jose Aldo.
The fake champion.
Well, he got an interim belt for beating Edgar, and then he was just crowned champion.
Well, you're not wrong, but I mean, that whole division was fucked up. So
yes, it was. Now, what? Because the weird thing is that Holloway has cleared out the division on his way up. So who the fuck does he fight?
I guess he could fight the winner of what's his name? Irish dude and boxer. Nah, but I was just kidding. I don't know who the fuck he's gonna fight. Conor McGregor or
Tony Ferguson?
No, not Ferguson. The boxer. Why am I blanking on his name?
Mayweather?
Yeah, Mayweather. But that's not going to happen, of course. But I was just, now I have no idea who he's going to fight. The first round was pretty close. I gave it 10-9 to Aldo actually because he landed the most significant shit in the first round.
No, I agree. But the thing is, Holloway just substantial. Like in the first round, I'm pretty sure he was just waiting / just letting shit go by.
Yeah.
And
then the second round, it started with Aldo landing more shit too. But then near the end, Holloway kind of like started landing some of his own shit too. But then right at the end, Aldo landed some more shit. So that second round was super close to call for me. But then, it doesn't matter because Holloway ended it.
And then the third round was all fucking Holloway for as long as it was. Like it was just the
4
Holloway
minutes and
show.
13 seconds. Yeah.
So, I get that. I think should have been stopped earlier than it was.
Well, and the TKO, if he was on top of him, landing punches for a long time. He was covering up, kind of. He wasn't really doing much to defend himself.
Well, he was turtling. He wasn't defending himself. He was turtling. He wasn't trying to improve his position.
Yes. It's not like he was getting destroyed or anything.
Some of those shots were pretty bad.
Oh, near the end for sure. Brazilian ref probably too. I have
no. It was McCarthy.
It was McCarthy. Oh yeah, sure. I don't. I have no problem with how it ended. To be honest, in this particular case, especially when it's champion versus champion. Let's just say that was the excuse. It's champion versus
Sure.
champion. McCarthy wanted to make sure he really earned that belt. That's
Well,
the
since he
only
wasn't
excuse that I
taking
have.
any significant damage, I would agree with that, but he wasn't improving his position. So, like, I've seen much worse stoppages than what that was.
Hmm. Hey, there was a fight that ended earlier that tonight that could have gone on like this. Was it the one with who was it? Who would I say? That Eric Silva? Eric Silva could have probably went on a little bit. They could have probably kept it going if they really wanted to. If they wanted to, because it was in Brazil and it's a Brazilian
Well,
dude losing.
Silva was complaining that it was a quick stoppage. But
I don't think it was.
Don't think it was.
But if you look at this main event, you could argue that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in terms of news, nothing really happened. But I guess so. Chan Sung Jung is out of his fight versus Ricardo Lamas. He has a knee injury. So
Okay.
no Korean zombie fight coming up at the next fight
Is
night,
it-
whatever
That's
that
the
was.
only fight that I could see Holloway. Like that against Holloway that really makes any sense. But if he's hurt, then
Oh,
that's
Korean
obviously-
zombie, yeah, if he won, yeah, sure.
No, yeah, if he beats Lamas
Yes.
and then Lamas, or sorry,
Yes, that makes sense. for
Holloway
sure.
and
That fight was in June, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna look that up real quick, but I'm pretty sure that was just in June on some fight night event.
it's still on the website, July 29th.
Oh, July, Jesus, 29th. That's the pay per view, right?
Yeah, with Cormier and
Huh.
Jones.
I thought it was on just some random fight night thing, but I guess not.
I'm assuming that's gonna be the co-main event,
But yeah, no,
or would have been.
yeah, no, definitely. Korean zombie has a knee injury.
Doi Hoi Choi and
A duo Choi.
Andre
If he came in, that'd be pretty crazy.
no, he's on that same card.
Oh, okay, he's on that card. Okay.
So you had the two crazy South Korean dudes on the same
dude,
fucking card.
UFC, well, 214 looks crazy, but 213 and 214 looks way better than 212.
Mm.
I don't think that 212 necessarily looked terrible, but 213 and 212 have
Well, it
some-
was really
some
the
fights.
one fight that everyone was caring about.
Yeah, but dude, Fabricio Werdum versus Alistair Overeem, Robbie Lawler versus Donald Cerrone, Yoel Romero versus Robert Whitaker, and then the main event, Amanda Nunes versus Valentino Sechenko. That's a pretty good card. Oh, Anthony Pettis versus Jim Miller. Jesus Christ. Yeah, 213 looks amazing, and then 214 is even crazier. But that's a few months off, so shit could happen. Shit could happen, like Korean zombie being knocked out. That's a shit job right there. And John Jones, he could still take some dick pills or something. Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
He didn't get canned from the last fight until like 48 hours before.
Just take it later.
Yeah.
Just right before the fight, man. Just take those dick pills.
So you can go after the fight and just rape some bitches
Get
or
your
something.
wiener stuff out of the way, and then go fight. It's funny, hey, like that the fight stuff all the time. You always hear like boxers going like, "You don't screw right before the fight," but a lot of fighters do it. Like Ronda Rousey, she was a pretty big proponent
it's
of
slightly
screwing before
different
fights.
for a woman-ish than
Is
it
it?
is for a man-ish.
I suppose so.
Biologically
But
speaking,
it takes your mind off the game, bro. That's what you don't understand.
well, it does depend on what you mean by before. Assuming you give at least, you wouldn't want to do it within 24 hours. If you're doing it outside of 24 hours, it's not going to do jack shit.
I guess so. I have no idea because I've never fought or have sex. So I don't do either of those things. So I cannot speak about any of those two things.
Sure. Well, just playing any sport or whatever. If you have sex an hour before you play hockey or something like that, you're not the same.
Again, I've never
Or
sports and what? I've never played hockey. What?
then you're not really a Canadian, then, are you?
And had sex. I don't know what you're talking about. I just sit on my computer and do nothing.
Wow, chicken, wow,
Dude,
wow.
that was-
That's what you.
No. I'm just getting flashbacks at like one of the first Fresh Air's Overrateds, and a dude called in, and he was super nice the whole time, and then at the end of the call, he's like, "You two are virgins. You two are virgins." And me and Kurz are just like, "Yeah, sure, okay. I'm a virgin. Why not? It doesn't matter. Like if I am or not. Like who cares?"
That was me.
I felt like that when I was a virgin, and I feel like that still. Like, it's who cares if you want to be a virgin? Like, if you're a virgin or not, like, who fucking cares? I don't give a shit. And then it's like, you're the one calling into our show.
Yeah, I know. You're wasting your time to go and call somebody a virgin.
He actually had a fucking awesome call. It was awesome. And then he ends it that way. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Break this
weird.
call a 0.
But yeah, not much news has happened except for this event, so that was about it. That was about it. I don't have much else to talk about except, wee stuff, which I already got out of the way just now, so that's done. Because it's all just UFC 212. Nothing really else happened this weekend. There was a Cage Warriors yesterday. I didn't watch it. I thought it was today, so I was going to watch that, and then I was like, oh, shit. That was yesterday, so I did not watch it. Cage Warriors usually does pretty good events, so I always like watching that. It's like TKO in Quebec. It's not like super amazing or the fighters are great or anything, but the production's all right and the announcing's pretty good, so you just tune in and you go like, all right, cool. Like TKO is, I think it's Robin Black and that other dude that did the Sportsnet stuff for UFC before.
Joe something.
Yeah, Joe. Yes. Yeah. Showdown Joe.
Showtime.
Whatever the hell
Showtime.
is,
Showdown. Yeah.
Whatever the hell his name is. That guy. Yeah. He's definitely there. I don't remember if Robin Black might demand too much money.
He was there for Ryzen or...
Oh, he is on Ryzen too. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know who Robin Black is?
The name sounds familiar, but I'm not picturing the face.
He had like a band in like the late 90s, and then he was on Much Music for a while, and then he's in MMA now. He was training out of Extreme Couture.
Ooh.
So he was very familiar with Mark Hominick and those Canadian dudes. Mark Bocek. Those guys that don't fight anymore. Hey, Hominick was cool. He was awesome while he fought, but he's only 34. Jesus. He's pretty young. Good job not fighting. He lost 4 fights in a row, and he was like, okay, it's probably my time to just get out of here. But man, that Jose Aldo fight was insane. Do you remember his huge bump on his forehead on that fight?
That's all I remember of the fight is that hematoma that looked like it was going to explode.
Oh man, that started in the first round and it just kept getting worse. It was insane. And then he lost to Chan Sung Jung. Hey, talk about that guy. KO punches in fucking 7 seconds. Jesus. Jeez. I barely remember that. That was in 2011. 6 years ago.
Well, I'm going to take off. I am fucking exhausted.
Yeah, hey, it's the end of the show. I'm going to take off too then. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to play this theme song.
Theme song?
Yeah.
Sounds sexy.
It's kind of like a WWE theme song ripoff. Yes,
not surprised.
We thank Jeremy for sending that in and making this our official theme song. And he also sent us this video that we are going to outro with right now. See you guys.
Nice. See ya.